The news in details. Members of the Duclert Commission that submitted a report on France's role in the 1994 genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsi have submitted the desire to establish an international research institute on the genocide against the Tutsi in order to better publicize about the facts and help fight its denial and negation now. This comes after the members met with and held talks with officials from organizations that bring together survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi. Sessionary has more of the details.
Vincent Duclert and his team of 8 researchers met with representatives of Ibuka, Avega, ARG and GIRG and also presented to them a copy of the report they prepared on France's role in the 1994 genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsi. The group also visited the Nyanza Chichichiro Genocide Memorial Site and the garden that is planted there.
C'était leur dire combien nous avons souhaité travailler en faveur de la vérité.
We wanted to tell them that the work we did was meant to make known the truth, regardless of how painful it may be for our country. Yet again, being a Frenchman means accepting the truth and working that such atrocities are never repeated again, because we expose the heavy and shocking role French leaders played in the process that led Rwanda to the genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsi. We are also emphasizing the need for more research on the truth and that we should work together to this end because it is essential. The representatives of the organizations that bring together survivors of the genocide against the Tutsi have welcomed the move.
Icyambere Commission Duclert yahaye agaciro.
First off, the Duclert Commission has recognized the importance of such organizations that bring together genocide survivors as per the work they did. Second, we must acknowledge the significance of them giving us a copy of that report, even though, like you said, they had already given copies elsewhere. By giving us a copy, they have shown that they want us to use its contents. Also, they have submitted a recommendation that an international research center be established in Europe, in Paris, and that we help them to do that because it will primarily focus on the genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsi. More than anything, that is what they want us to collaborate on with them. France's current leaders have also called on all countries with documents on the genocide against the Tutsi to make them available so that research efforts can continue for the sake of truth and justice.
Avec humilité et respect, à vos côtés, ce jour, je viens reconnaître nos responsabilités.
And now, with humility and respect on our part on this day, I acknowledge our responsibility. We must also continue research efforts to expose the truth through the work of qualified researchers and historians. Accepting that history means working to ensure that justice is dispersed so that no one suspected of the crime of genocide evades the work of judges.
En nous engageant à ce qu'aucune personne soupçonnée de crime de génocide ne puisse échapper au travail des juges.
The Duclert report was well received by both the governments of France and Rwanda, and so was the Muse report that was commissioned by the government of Rwanda.
Thank you, Serge, for that report. Now, the Prime Minister of Rwanda, Dr. Eduardo Ngirente, on Wednesday received his office the Executive Director of the International Monetary Fund, Mr. Ivo Andrianarivello. Their discussions focused on the issue of the COVID-19 pandemic that continues to spread across the world, focusing on the health sectors and economies of countries. Gabi Muvunyi has more on this report.
The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Uziel Dagijimana, also present during the discussions, says the exchange of views focused on Rwanda's relationship with the International Monetary Fund and the country's economy during the current COVID-19 pandemic. He affirms that the IMF has helped Rwanda deal with the effects of the pandemic.
When any member states experience any economic problems, the IMF comes in and assists them, especially now as we are experiencing the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic from last year. The IMF granted us a total of $200 million to help deal with the COVID-19 pandemic and its repercussions.
The IMF Executive Director Avio Andriana Rivello explained that the efforts are focusing on protecting the economies of developing countries and ensuring they're able to assess COVID-19 vaccines.
We should win this pandemic together, and that's in this sense that our Department of Economics try to advocate for large funding for all our countries, not only Africa, but other small states, low-income countries, and Africa is among the first continents that will benefit from it.
Since the outbreak of the pandemic last year, the IMF has allocated a total of $200 million in interest-free loans. Mr. Avio Andriana Rivello represents the IMF in 23 African countries, including Rwanda. Gabi Muvunyi for RTV.
Students from primary and secondary schools say that the closure of schools due to the pandemic has affected their calendar, but are ready to take on the measures in place seriously.
Barbara Simbi, who is in S6, is packing to go home for the holidays, while Anne Petit Nyonsenga will remain in school preparing for the final examinations. Both say they are ready to take extra caution during this time to protect themselves against the virus.
After writing our national exams, when we go back home, we shall make sure that we avoid unnecessary movements. For those maybe who will be having no jobs, will have to stay at home. Then those who have the jobs will have to go outside, but observe the measures that have been put by the Ministry of Health. So we shall make sure that, because I see avoiding unnecessary movement is the one that is going to reduce those numbers that are increasing daily. Then also advising my fellows to go for checkup, regular COVID checkups, because here maybe at school we are protected. All of us are in maybe the boarding section, most of the candidates, but when we go back home we shall be in different communities and also meeting different people. So the first thing is avoiding unnecessary movement.
For us students, as we're still teenagers, we like to go to some parties, to visit our friends at their homes. But due to the COVID-19, we are asked not to stay at our homes to help our parents, even to prevent the spread of COVID. As you can see, even though the ones to be impacted by it are our parents or the elder ones, but also even the young ones or the adults or teenagers have also been impacted by the COVID in many aspects, like education mostly. So we're planning to adhere to those regulations so as to not lose 1 year as we did for the last year, so as to continue studying well.
Head of Lycée de Kigali, Masabo Martin, where 18 students caught COVID, says they are vigilant to ensure the safety of their students.
Those are the ones who are actually whose parents want to take them immediately, and that would also avoid the overcrowding, especially tomorrow, because all of them will be moving tomorrow. So if they are departing tomorrow and then some move today, then that will alleviate the problem of overcrowding. Actually, I advise the parents, if they take them, they would rather let them first test for COVID-19 before they take them home. And some agree, because they say that is more advisable, rather than taking them just like that. Otherwise, they can easily be affected when they reach home, or they affect others when they reach home.
Parents also reiterated that they will ensure that their children are home and safe, especially during this holiday. We know that COVID is dangerous and we will protect them at home and ensure they stay indoors. They will not be visiting one another. They can chat on phone, but not move around. A lab technician from La Croix du Sud warned that among the positive cases tested at the hospital, most are from the youth. The youth don't come here willingly, but numbers show that the youth are the most infected because they come here saying they have a headache that doesn't go away, a fever and all that. And then they assume it's flu. However, when we later test them, they get that it's COVID-19. Education Minister Dr. Wamaria Valentine cautioned the students and parents to take extra precautions so that they do not fall ill. The students themselves must protect themselves and follow the measures that have been put in place. Parents who have students sitting for their final examinations should take extra precaution so that they can do the examinations safely. This is for boarders too who have remained in school. Extra caution must be taken all around, from the communities to the students and to the parents, to ensure the safety of our children. This Thursday, primary school students started their journey back home. Day scholars in their final years will only go back to school to sit for the examinations, while boarders remained in school waiting for their final exams.
Thank you, Fiona Mbabazi, for that report. Now, Rwanda and Qatar are happy with the progress they've made in their relations on various levels. Now, on Wednesday, the President of the Senate, Dr. Iyamuremye Auguste, held talks with Qatar's ambassador to Rwanda, His Excellency Abdullah bin Mohammed Al Sayed, on bilateral relations through Parliament.
During his short stay in Rwanda, he was able to unite the two countries on the basis of the mission given to him by their president. Hence, the two countries have proven their relationship through various activities, like in the field of aviation, where the Qatar and the Rwanda airline partner together. As you know, they have shares in the Bugesera International Airport, so once the airport is fully established, it will make Rwanda a forum not only for Qatar and Rwanda flights, but also all international flights that can fly through Rwanda. We also have investment partnerships, especially in Masoro, as we have educational partnerships because there are programs to provide scholarships for Rwandan students in tourism and many more. We have agreed that this partnership will also extend in terms of government activities, as the two parliaments will work together, as well as in other cooperative activities.
On behalf of the entire news production team, thank you for your company. I'm Jane Motoni. Have a great month ahead.